Picture this. Times Square, 1950. A cacophony of car horns, flashing lights, and bustling pedestrians. Amidst this urban jungle, a man sticks out like a sore thumb, and not just because of his fashion choices, though those are questionable too. This is Rudolph Fentz, and he's about as out of place as a penguin in a sauna. His clothes scream Victorian era. Think top hat, frock coat, the whole shebang. It's like he stepped out of a history book and into a Technicolor nightmare. Confused and disoriented, Fentz wanders through the sea of modern marvels, his bewildered expression a mix of awe and utter terror. Little did anyone know, this was just the tip of the iceberg in a case so bizarre, it would make even the most seasoned detective scratch their head. Tragically, Fentz's life in the fast lane, or should we say fast century, was cut short when he was struck by a car. Now you might be thinking, okay, sad accident, but where's the mystery? Well, hold on to your hats, folks, because things are about to get weird. When the police searched Fentz's belongings, they stumbled upon a treasure trove of anachronisms. We're talking a copper token for a beer that cost a single cent, an invoice for a horse and carriage ride, because who needs taxis, right? And banknotes so old they belonged in a museum. But wait, there's more. A letter dated June 1876 and business cards bearing a Fifth Avenue address added fuel to the already raging fire of bewilderment. It was as if someone had stitched together pieces of two different centuries and called it a man. Enter Captain Hubert Fifth Rim of the NYPD, a man who probably thought he'd seen it all. Boy, was he in for a surprise. Rim tackled the Fentz case with the tenacity of a bulldog, determined to separate fact from fiction, or should we say, fiction from science fiction. He scoured missing person reports, historical records, even the phone book, remember those? But Fentz's existence seemed to begin and end with those strange artifacts. The Fifth Avenue address on the business cards led Rim to a dead end, or rather a very much alive business owner who vaguely recalled a Rudolph Fentz, but this Fentz had moved away decades ago, leaving no forwarding address. The more Rim dug, the deeper the mystery became. Was Rudolph Fentz a time traveler, a prankster with a penchant for the theatrical, or something else entirely? The truth, like a slippery eel, continued to evade his grasp. News of the enigmatic time traveler of Times Square spread like wildfire. The tale, already stranger than fiction, was embellished with each retelling, becoming a game of telephone on a global scale. Soon, Fentz wasn't just a man out of time. He was a symbol of the unexplained, a walking, talking, well, not anymore, question mark. From hushed whispers in smoky bars to sensationalized headlines in newspapers, everyone had an opinion on Rudolph Fentz. Was he a visitor from the past, a victim of a cosmic joke, or just a really good method actor? The world, it seemed, was obsessed. Now, before we all jump on the time-traveling bandwagon, let's consider another possibility, one that involves a little less temporal distortion and a little more ink and paper. Some researchers believe that Fentz's story, while undoubtedly entertaining, is just that, a story. They point to a supposed 1950s science fiction short story as the source of the legend, claiming that Fentz is nothing more than a figment of someone's very creative imagination. Of course, the lack of concrete evidence hasn't stopped the debate. The internet, that breeding ground for conspiracy theories and cat videos, is rife with discussions about Fentz's true nature. Some even claim to have solved the mystery, offering up elaborate theories involving wormholes, alternate dimensions, and maybe even a rogue DeLorean. So, why are we still talking about a case that's over 70 years old? Why does the story of Rudolph Fentz continue to capture our imaginations, even in the face of skepticism and common sense? Perhaps it's the thrill of the unknown, the tantalizing possibility that somewhere out there, amidst the mundane and the ordinary, lies something extraordinary. We humans are hardwired for stories, for explanations that make sense of the world around us. And when those explanations involve time travel, well, that's just plain cool. The enduring fascination with Rudolph Fentz also highlights a curious aspect of human nature, our susceptibility to a good yarn, especially when it confirms our deepest fears or wildest dreams. Remember the 1938 War of the Worlds radio broadcast? Orson Welles' realistic depiction of a Martian invasion sent shockwaves across America, causing widespread panic and proving that even the most outlandish stories can take root in fertile imaginations. The Fentz case, like the War of the Worlds incident, reminds us of the importance of critical thinking and the need to separate fact from fiction, or in Fentz's case, fiction from science fiction. In the age of information overload, it's more crucial than ever to approach stories like Fentz's with a healthy dose of skepticism and a lot of Google searches. So, what really happened to Rudolph Fentz? Was he a time traveler, a figment of someone's imagination, or just a really dapper dude who got lost on his way to a costume party? The truth, much like a well-hidden flux capacitor, remains elusive. But perhaps that's the beauty of it all. In a world obsessed with answers, there's something refreshingly mysterious about a question that continues to echo through time, leaving us to ponder the infinite possibilities of the universe and the enduring power of a good story. And hey, if you ever find yourself in Times Square and spot a dapper gentleman who looks a little lost, maybe offer him directions and a copy of Time Traveler's Guide to the 21st Century while you're at it, just in case.